You know, going back to 2042 after the BF6 beta, it really does make you realize just how good the BF6 beta actually is. And it's not just me experiencing this. I've actually taken great pleasure with seeing a bunch of creators and just players returning to Battlefield 2042 to try to unlock the BF6 cosmetics and get reminded as to just how terrible 2042 is as a whole, even in its current state. And I've acknowledged many times that 2042 has made great strides, but you can only polish it so much. The bones, right, the foundation of the game just aren't it. I've recently had some events occur in my life that have made me think about some things and thought about Battlefield 6 in comparison to BF5 in 2042. Longtime viewers of the channel will know that I've only covered BF5 in 2042 because I've only had the opportunity to do that ever since I started making content. So BF6 will be the first decent Battlefield title I actually get to experience. And man, I'm not going to take this one for granted. I'm going to critique it if it needs to be critiqued. I'm going to praise them if they need to be praised. But just from a baseline perspective, let's take a look at BF6's problems versus the games we've been experiencing over the past few years. In Battlefield 5, during the alpha, there was a bug where if you spawned, you just simply couldn't move. You're just stuck into the ground for the entire match. And yeah, that was the alpha, but it persisted into the beta, and eventually they did patch it. Then on release, of course, the visibility was all-time levels of terrible, still terrible to this day. They tried everything they could, but again, that was sort of baked into the game. The soldier visibility filter they added really didn't do much. Then, of course, we have to add on top the cheater situation in BF5 and all the other issues. And what's important to note about these issues in BF5 is, again, they're kind of foundational. They're extremely difficult to remedy. Then you look at Battlefield 2042, even worse than BF5 across the board. The worst maps in general in the franchise, just looking at taking every single map into consideration. I don't think there would be any debate regarding that. The whole DNA of the game with specialists and the way things are unlocked and the gunplay of the game and the movement and the general aesthetic, the voice lines, every single thing was wrong. Everything. And 2042 coming after BF5 was really the final straw for a lot of people. It solidified the fact in a lot of people's minds, we're just never even getting a half-decent Battlefield game again. And I was in that camp for a long time because, I mean, what other camp could you possibly be in? Like, what other mindset could you possibly have? They just can't make a fucking game anymore, apparently. And I'll be honest, going into the BF6 beta, I expected the game to be significantly worse than it was. I did not expect it to be as far along. I expected there to be some really foundational issues that can't be easily addressed, or perhaps they could be addressed, but it would simply be too much of a hassle for DICE to do. An example of that would be the broken mouse input in Battlefield 2042 that also affects controllers, and just the horrible engine latency that has never been addressed in the entire lifespan of the game because it's an engine level issue. There's nothing like that in BF6. And this is where we kind of have to already appreciate Battlefield 6. I'm not saying, glaze the game till the fucking sun comes up. The game's not even out yet, right? We haven't seen how the BR is. We haven't seen how Gauntlet is. But I think we do have to look at Battlefield 6 just in its state right now and understand they could release BF6 in the beta build, and it would be better than current 2042 after all the updates. And that is absolutely nuts. That is crazy to think about. And then the other thing that really hit me going from 2042 to BF6 is I was playing Battlefield 2042 today. I shot half a magazine into somebody, no bullets registered, right? There wasn't a single time where that happened in the BF6 beta. Then I thought back to my experiences with early Battlefield 2042 and early Battlefield 5 and just the amount of bugs and weird, funky things that happened. And I was watching my clips of the BF6 beta back, and I was watching some of my streams back, and there just wasn't any of that. There were a couple things. I'm not saying the beta was perfect, right? But in comparison to the quality we were getting in the past, there just wasn't a lot of bullshit happening. There was the roof glitch on Siege of Cairo. Easy fix though, right? Like a lot of Battlefield 6's issues. Okay, patch it so they can't get on the roof. Fixed. Vehicle design is an issue in BF6. Okay, take a look at the mechanics. Fix the vehicle design. The visibility in Battlefield 6 is not that great. Okay, I don't know if you guys saw recent leaks, But in recent leaks, there was something suggesting they added a soldier visibility filter like we saw in Battlefield 5, and the visibility is already improved. Obviously, I can't show you guys this, but I mean, as we all know, Battlefield Labs leaks are just everywhere, right? So you guys can go look at it. And the point I'm trying to make here is Battlefield 6's fundamental problems, the biggest issues the game has, are all absolutely fixable, which I cannot name another Battlefield game where that is the case. And you have to put this in the context, which is why I was talking about BF5 in 2042. This is coming off of 2042, a game with countless unfixable issues. Just to name one, the map design influenced by 128 players. You can try to rework as many maps as you want. They're still dog shit. All right? We saw that happen with Hourglass and Discarded and Manifest and all these other maps. And this harks back to a point that I've always been trying to make, which is if you don't get the foundation of the game right, the game is never going to be good. And they somehow, some way, actually followed through with that in Battlefield 6. To the point where I played the beta, and for the first time ever, I think I can allow myself to be excited for the release of a new Battlefield game. That has never been able to happen in my entire content creation journey, alright? And I'm sure for you guys, a lot of you haven't been able to convince yourself to be excited for the release of a Battlefield game for years upon years as well. Like, there is nothing sticking out to me aside from maybe a catastrophic BR failure that is telling me that this game is going to have a bad launch, this game is going to have a bad reception, and it almost doesn't seem real, you know? It's like, is this the same company? Is this EA, DICE, and the other studios? Like, this can't be real. And that's why I get a little overreactive to some things that I see. Like, for instance, on the movement topic, I kind of freaked out on Twitter. In hindsight, you know, I think the game's going to be fine, right? I think the movement changes are probably just going to be nothing. But, hey, listen, you have to understand. I fucking waited so long for this shit, and when I see something like movement being changed before the game releases, that triggers my Battlefield 1 PTSD, where they essentially destroyed the gameplay of the game. If that happens to BF6, I will fucking literally crash out. I just don't want to see that happen. Now, obviously, if you dig into the changes and all that sort of stuff, probably not going to be a big deal. But that sort of stuff sets such a worrying precedent for me. Like, I don't want them to start tinkering with the bones of the game. Like, just fucking leave it alone, man. All right? If something is obviously broken, like some of the movement bugs or whatever, you know, fix those. Other than that, for the love of everything, just fucking don't touch it. Don't listen to Reddit. Don't listen to these people on Twitter that crawl on the ground for 550 meters thinking this game is fucking hell let loose, but they refuse to play hell let loose. But I suppose at the true core of it, whenever I see massive community outrage over teeny tiny issues that are even debatable as issues that then trigger developer response, I get a little worried because I like BF6. I don't want the game to be good in the beta and then be gutted on release. So that's it, really. I mean, I don't really know what this video was. I just hit record and just started talking. I feel like I should do a little more of these videos. I just wanted to stop covering news and doing the top plays videos. I just wanted to put one of these videos out. So just let me know how you guys are feeling about Battlefield 6 going into it. I know it comes out October 10th. I'm sure there's a lot more stuff to discover from what we've seen so far. So thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Let me know your sentiments. Hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel. Swing by a stream. I stream every single day at twitch.tv/enders. First link in the description. And I will see you guys in the next video.